In this episode, I'm going to share with you the magic of equity updates. Welcome to the Savvy Agent Podcast, where we help real estate agents build a thriving business so they have financial freedom in their life without having to work 24/7. I'm your host, Heather Wright. Now let's get to it. You've probably heard me talk about equity updates before. They're one of my favorite things. And the reason they're a favorite thing is because they're really easy to do. I don't have to do a market analysis. Like an equity update actually sounds pretty important and special, doesn't it? But the reality is it's really a very quick search on the MLS of active pending sold properties within like a quarter mile, half mile radius of a past client's address. And then I send that to my past client and I explain to them how an equity update works and that it's not a market analysis. It's just a snapshot of activity going on in your neighborhood. So click here to see all the active pending and sold homes on the market in the last 90 days. It's just a small distance from your home to stay in that micro area. Even if you have no intention of selling your home for many years, it's a good idea to know how things are going in the neighborhood. Over time, you'll see trends develop, hopefully where the prices increase. So the beauty of the equity update is that it is totally relevant. People who own real estate are interested in what's going on in the neighborhood. So they will click on that link and check out the listings included. And you know how it is. Like you drive by a house, you're like, oh, I wonder how much that is. Oh, I wonder if they ever remodeled the bathroom. It just, all of the things that go through your head when you see a home for sale in your neighborhood. Granted, we're real estate agents on this podcast. So we probably have a lot more real estate related thoughts going through our heads when we see a new listing. Who can I sell that to? Blah, blah, blah. Why'd they list with them? But if you're not a real estate agent, you're just a homeowner, there's still a level of curiosity there. Not only for what the value of that home is doing for your future home equity, but just the flat out curiosity of, I wonder what the inside of that house looks like. I learned about equity updates from a coach I had years and years and years ago. And I did them for a while. And then, like most normal people, I get in a habit and then I get busy and I get out of the habit. But I have a team of agents. And so that's what I tell them to do. Oh, you need to touch base with your past clients every quarter, send them an equity update. Little did I know that they actually weren't doing an equity update. They're keeping in touch with their past client. They're having conversations with them, but they're not using the equity update. I don't really know why. Maybe they forgot the beauty of it. Maybe they just got bored and I don't know. There is no good reason to stop doing the equity update. So what I did was I put together a training. It's like a 20-minute training on how we do the equity updates and how we use Follow Up Boss. And I wrote 3 email templates. And this was the make it or break it for my team to actually do their equity updates. Once they had an email template and a process, they were like, okay, cool, I'll do equity updates. So for how many years had I known that's all it was going to take? Well, had I known that they weren't being done, I'm sure that I would have taken action on it. But, hindsight is 20/20, right? So you could send equity updates directly from your MLS to your past clients, and that would work just fine. Our MLS uses Matrix. And if you're familiar with Matrix, then you know when you send an email of listings to anyone through Matrix, you can put your copy in the email, but then it says, click the following link to view the listings. And then it has a long, ugly link. And you have no control over where that link is. I think it goes at the bottom of the copy that you put in the email in Matrix. I don't actually use Matrix to email clients because it looks terrible. So the process that my team adopted is we set up our email templates in Follow Up Boss, the CRM that we not only use, but I recommend. So we set up the email templates in Follow Up Boss, and there's 2 words, click here, included in each email template. And so you could send yours directly from the MLS, and there's probably adequate tracking. Like you could probably see who has clicked on the email and opened it if you wanted to follow up with them for, if you had extra time on your hands and you wanted to follow up on your follow-up. But in this case, I'm just curious about knowing that they opened the email, that they clicked on it, not necessarily because I want to follow up immediately, but I want to see how the campaign is doing overall. And then I can always call back to that in future communication if it is appropriate. Oh, I saw that you got the equity update I sent you 3 months ago. Here's another one. You just never know when having that information is going to be good. So I like to do everything out of my CRM so that I can track that communication for whatever reason I want to. Even if I don't know the reason today, I might have a reason tomorrow and I'll be happy that I tracked it. So we set up the email template. And what I do is I look for houses within a 1/4 mile radius, which is in Matrix. That's the smallest radius that you can do to search for listings from a certain address. So if their address is 123 Main Street, I search for active, pending, and sold listings within a 1/4 mile radius of 123 Main Street. I select all the listings and then I email that to myself. So I'm the one that gets the ugly link. So then I copy the ugly link. I go to Follow Up Boss, click, yes, I want to send this template. And, it's really nice because when you click on templates, it'll say, oh, you used this template recently. So you don't even have to search for the template. It's automatically there to click on. I highlight the 2 words, click here, and add that link to those 2 words. So then they're getting a nice email that is formatted like a normal person sent it, not some janky core logic project. And then I can see that they've opened it, that they've clicked it, whatever. So let me tell you, I'm looking here at our stats. These emails have been in here just for like the last week or so. And we've only used the first email. So I've written 3 equity update emails. They all basically say the same thing, but the words are slightly changed. So it doesn't look like you're copying and pasting the same exact template every 90 days. And so for the first one, I included a sentence that I said, one of my New Year's resolutions is to make sure all my clients are well informed about their micro real estate market, the market immediately surrounding your home. And so it's January. So it's perfectly appropriate to be sending out emails, even though it's a few weeks into the year that it's a New Year's resolution. Well, we have over 8 total sales, lifetime sales. So that's probably, 500-600 past clients. Not all of them will need an equity update. Of course, if they moved out of the area, then I wouldn't even have the data to send them. If we don't want to work with them ever again, well, we're not going to follow up with them. So we're choosy about the people that we send it to. So maybe we're only going to send it to 400 or 500. Then we have sent it to date. And this has really only happened in the last week or so. We've sent 234 equity update emails, and they've been opened 317 times, which is an 85% open rate. I'm sure that one email might go to 2 people, or one email might get opened 3 or 4 times. You never know what somebody's habit is going to be. They open it and realize they want to go back and read it later. Then they go back and read it later. Then they forward it to, their girlfriend that's living there. Who knows? So it's an 85% open rate, which is really, really good. The open rate is 85% and the click-through rate is 41%. But I don't really know how they're getting that 41% because it's showing 185 clicks. And I'm sure that there are multiple clicks on unique links. Like I just said, one email has one link and it might get 2 or 3 clicks, maybe more, who knows? But if you think, okay, of the people who opened it, that's 199 opens. Also, isn't it like almost impossible to track open rates these days? I have no idea how this technology works. But if 198 opens are happening based on 85% of the sent emails, and then 41% of those are clicking a link, then that's almost 82 unique people, which is pretty good. This is where the numbers sound really low, but stick with me because they are low, but they're also really impressive. So 85% open rate is awesome. 41% click-through rate is great. 6% reply rate. Now, again, I don't know how Follow Up Boss tracks this. I don't know if there's like a standard error rate in their tracking. I don't know anything about it. So 6% reply rate sounds kind of low, but this email that we're sending isn't really like, we're not asking people to respond. We're just giving value. Here you go. Here's your equity update. The replies that we have gotten, it says that we've gotten 13 replies. And I know that I have gotten, honestly, I just started my equity updates today. So today I've gotten 2 responses, one of which was a come list me email. Probably not right now, but they're probably going to list in a couple of months. They're in the process of moving out of the area and they need time to find a job and, all of the things included in that. But that's awesome that they remember their favorite realtor and they want me to list their house for sale. And the other response that I got was from one of my favorite past clients. Well, let's face it, all of my past clients are my favorite past clients. He was responding to a question that I asked him in the email about being a new father. And he told me how much he loves it and invited me over. Like, these equity updates are gold, not only for the come list me emails, but just for building those relationships. And it warms my heart to have a conversation with somebody that I adore who adores me back. We get beat up all day long in this business. And so to have those people that warm our hearts when we get to have an email conversation with them, that's really, really great. That's something to write in your gratitude journal about. So anyway, 6% doesn't seem like a whole lot, but here's where my entire team is at. So I told you that I had one person who said that they wanted to sell their house. But in total, we have gotten 6 listing prospects that we didn't know about until we sent the equity update email. So if 13 people replied, which is only 6%, then that's 46% of the people that reply want to talk about selling. That's 6 houses that we are going to have the opportunity to interview, to list their house for sale. Of course, nothing is guaranteed until the listing paperwork is signed. And I get that. I'm a realist. But those are 6 prospects that we didn't know about until they responded to our equity update email. And the responses are great. They're not like the cold internet leads that call and say, well, what's your commission rate? What do you charge? They say, hey, here's my situation. And they tell you everything that you need to know. And I'd really like to work with you again. Or when can you come over and talk about selling? Or I was going to ask you what the process is of selling. We're not ready to start right now, but we will be in a month. My point with sharing this story with you is that there is gold in your database. And this is seriously easy to do. It's so easy. It's magical. And you can also experience the magic of the equity update. You just have to make the time to send it. And it really only takes a minute to send the email. When you have your system set up, granted, it probably takes me longer because I'm emailing myself the link from Matrix and then putting it in an email direct from Follow Up Boss. So if you're doing it direct from your MLS, it's going to be even faster. And then you can make comments on it. Like, I had some people who, I think they built their house for around $500,000 a couple of years ago. Well, their equity update, they live in a new construction neighborhood. There's some really nice prices that are higher than what they paid, which is great. And then there's also 2 houses that are over $1 million. And having houses in that significant price range in your micro neighborhood, of course, helps everybody's home value increase. So my comment to that, I just added a little sentence in here. I really wish that those $1 million listings in your neighborhood had photos. And who doesn't want to see the photos of the $1 million listings? So adding that little bit of personality to the template is going to help you even more. So here's the deal. I already have template emails written. If you are in Savvy Agent Club, you already have a copy of those emails. But if you're a podcast listener, and listen closely, because this is the only place that you're going to hear this offer. If you're a podcast listener and you would like a copy of those emails and you're not in Savvy Agent Club, send me a message at podcast@savvyagent.co, and I'll send you a link to the Google Doc. You can copy and paste the template. Of course, you should edit it to make sure that it works for you. There's 3 email templates. The first one mentions that this is a New Year resolution, and I'm sure that they will work for you. They work great for us. They'll work for you. And this is an offer, like I said, only for podcast listeners. I don't have a registration page or anything set up. But if you email me, I'll email you right back. Most importantly, though, is that you do the equity updates. It's like putting your database into an ATM machine. And just, it's that maybe that analogy is a little bit weird, but it is literally one of the easiest things that we've had to do. And you don't have to feel awkward about, oh my God, what am I going to say to my past client? I haven't talked to him in 4 years. Ugh. No problem. These equity updates solve all of those issues, and it's wonderful. It's magical. You should do it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to email me, podcast@savvyagent.co, for your equity update email templates, and I'll talk with you next week.